But the problem is all those little things, those day-to-day little things that you didn't do, when the big one comes, you ain't going to be that person.
Yeah.
You're just going to do what you've already done.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get through it and it's going to destroy you. It's going to be very, very difficult, a lot more stressful, more anxiety, more whatever, more fear behind it.
Born in 92 on the block with the Sharks. Come from a different cloth, y'all would get ripped apart. You want it diamond, then you gotta get it in the dark. We dropping nuggets like Carmelo went to Rucker Park. Now we eating from state to state, we scrape the plate. I put my eggs in a basket, took a leap of faith. I took a chance, now we grow and see the impact. Decoding Success with special guests, now let's bring Matt.
Jason.
Morning, what's up?
Morning, what's up? Dude, your story to me is so fascinating. And again, just expressing the gratitude for you being here and to just bring everyone up to speed. 13 years old. You find yourself homeless. You're 3 years removed from a major loss in your life, which was your father.
Yeah.
What I want to know to kick this off is, what is the biggest piece of young Jason that's still with you today?
Start with an easy question. Okay.
The easiest of them all.
Damn, man. Well, hello there, everybody. Wow. I mean, I don't even know where to start with that question. That's
Yeah.
Like, what's left of me now that was there? Who am I?
Yeah, like,
I mean, it's funny. I mean, I can answer this question, but I don't know if I have like a one-liner for this kind of thing. It's
we don't
like,
need no one-liners, man.
I
We're
mean, I
here.
don't have
We're
those
here.
much anyway. It's more like when I think back and the way I was getting through a lot of things was, it was very important for me, and I don't know where it came from, whether it was just, the family environment early, before all that, or it was, the environment of, sort of being involved in martial arts, and that sort of in Japan. I was born in Japan initially, so I had a little bit of this exposure. But to me, it was more important to just sort of understand who I was. And I think having a certain set of values that, regardless of the cost to me, regardless of the situation, that I had to stick to those values. Like, to me, it just felt like that was the way to survive, was to how would you put it? Like, know who you are, like really understand like why, the other part that I always recall is, I remember thinking so often, and I don't know why or how, I just remember clearly making decisions and thinking about this. Like, I just knew something inside of me knew that was like, this is not where I'm gonna, like, belong.
Yeah.
Or how would you put it? Like, I knew that this was just the environment I was in right now. It wasn't something I did or didn't do. It just, that's where I am right now, and I need to figure out how to get through this. And that when this part is over, I want to be able to look back and like understand and have some respect for myself and know that I did this,
Yeah.
It's weird thinking about it.
Oh, man.
So weird.
Dude, no, this is good,
it's so
man.
crazy the last couple of years. Like, I can't even think about it without getting all emotional. It's so weird. Because before I didn't have anything, but
honestly,
seeping out a little bit
I'm
more.
going to get up to give you a hug in literally I'm not serious. I'm going to get up to give you a hug in 3 seconds. But first of all, I'm grateful to see this side of you because I have worked with you.
Oh, yes.
And I didn't see that side of you in our work. I'm going to come give you a hug if you're cool with that, dude.
Oh, my God. It's so weird. Everyone's been hugging me lately. It's kind of strange.
Nah,
but
man, come on.
Fine, man. You can have a freaking hug. Damn, son. Dude.
That always helps, dude. That always helps. Hey, man, listen.
I've hugged a lot lately. It's very strange. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about this. Like, I don't know what's going on. Why is everyone hugging me lately?
It's love, dude. It's love.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, hey, and I don't know if you ever thought about it like this, right? Because I'm hearing you say, Matt, know who you are.
Yes.
And a lot of what we talk about here is actually deconstructing who we thought we were to know who we actually are, because we're surrounded by parents, family, whoever that's constantly like throwing conditions upon us, not with like a harmful intent, right?
Sure, but just different ways it happens, yeah.
But in your situation, it's rather different. You didn't necessarily, at that particular point in your life, you didn't necessarily have people that were, and maybe you did, maybe outside of home there were still people. Maybe it was at the dojo, wherever it was.
Sure.
But like, from a parental perspective, did you ever think back and it's like, I actually didn't live where people were casting conditions upon me. intentionally, unintentionally, so on and so forth. Like, did you ever think of it that way? And it sounds fucked up to say in a way, and I'm not trying to sound fucked up, but like just looking at it from a different angle.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think, when I think back, I think like I said, earlier days, I did have a lot of positive influence.
Yeah.
Good environment that kind of gave me this set of values, right? And I guess during that time, I mean, in a way, like I always looked at there's a little bit of good in the bad and a little bit of bad in the good. So and maybe having this sort of unrestricted or biased sort of way of thinking and being, in that phase, in that period of my life when, I was just alone and I wasn't training. There was no dojo, there was no community. It was just, hopping on different things in different environments. But, where it was, I had to become more aware of myself and understanding my environment, and how the things and the people in my environment, how they influence me, but also how I can influence them, and then the other thing, and this is a lot of stuff like talk about what's still sticking with me. This is where I learned a lot of this, I think, but it's also just being really aware of, what would you call it, like people's intentions, like just really being able to read the room and the feeling of the room and the vibe and kind of understand where things are, leading toward or why they're that way. And then starting to be aware that like, well, how I present myself has an influence on that environment as well, and the outcomes of what happens next. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Like I said, obviously it's always nice to have a good foundation and good guidance, but at the same time, if you don't have it, you have to find a way.
You have to find a way.
You have to find a way. And, maybe in my case, maybe there's just, there's something in me that just made sure that I stayed on a certain track, and I just knew. I can't tell you exactly why, but I just always knew. I know people always talk about these things. They go, oh yeah, they talk about back then and what they had these experiences, how they thought before, but most of it they're probably full of crap. Like they really don't know. They say it now, like from introspect, they kind of think back about it. But I remember specific times, like I was like purposefully thinking and acting this way. Like I just knew inside of me. I remember I could even picture right now as I'm saying, I picture myself walking down the street, like literally telling myself this, like about where I am and why I'm there and who I am and why that's the most important part.
I love that, man. Yeah, I love that, dude. I love that.
Well, I love it though, because I mean, it's literally like everything I do now. Like it's like talk about like, okay, what's still left of me? Like that is it 100%.
Yeah.
Like everything I do, the way I think, everything I do with my family, with my work, with myself, it's all like, how would you say? I guess just lessons I learned there, or even not just lessons, but just that conditioning to like, and that discipline to like, just have that belief inside and understanding that like, okay, this is important. Like there might be some short-term negative costs, but in the long run, this is the way to be.
Yeah.
This is where you have to do this. And I know people love talking about these things and about character and about values and but like I don't see people actually following through. Not when it really matters most. And then so I think that was I was very lucky in the sense that I can look back and it's like, no, I did do that.
Yeah.
And that's who I am, and I still to this day. I won't say I lost or missed opportunities, but I didn't take opportunities that could have changed many things in my life, even financially, because I'd already committed to something else, or because I didn't have, I wasn't aligned with the values of that, and that sort of kind of went against who I am as a person, as a man, and so I chose not to. And everyone else, when I would bring up these situations or these things that were presented to me, just didn't understand.
Yeah.
They didn't get it. Like, what do you mean? It's like fine. It's like nothing like this. It won't matter about But for me, it was like, no, it didn't feel right. It wasn't the right thing. It wasn't in line with who I am and who I want. What I say, like how I want to be perceived as well. Like it's important too what people think of me. So I just make sure like I know who I am. I know what I'm very clear on my values and my boundaries and my line, and that's it.
How would you suggest someone gets clear on who they actually are?
I mean, it takes freaking effort and work. Yeah, it does, and a lot of things. I think it takes, and this is what I did, slowly but surely. And this part I don't know if I did it on purpose or not, but I just felt right over the year, over those years of how I got away and got out. It was just slowly but very, very intentionally making sure you get the right people around you, like finding the right environment. Even if you can't control that environment or you can't be around those people or that environment all the time, just as much as you can, as often as you can, just getting around the right people that are going to help support you or help you see things differently, to help have conversations that are different than what your normal environment is, to get you to shift that mindset, to shift that focus, to shift that direction, to shift even the image you have of yourself, what's possible. So I even like just kind of spaced off what your question was there.
No, this is good. You're talking, like you need to get surrounded by people. So essentially, the question was, how do you get to know yourself? And, you were mentioning.
There's a lot of things here.
Yeah. So like environment, surround yourself with a certain like particular 100%. Type of people, right? Is there anything else that goes into it?
I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, a simple way of putting it, it's at least what I do now, even as a coach. Yeah. But that's one of the biggest things. In fact, like, as you know, I'm writing a book.
Yeah.
about these three big pillars. But, of these three big pillars that I'm focusing on, that's sort of like the foundation, the center of everything, like it's like your operating system. All of it is wrapped around one thing, which is self-awareness, like becoming, understanding who you are, how things influence you, how you respond to things, why that is. And so I think really what it is just first understand that's important to be doing, and to be doing it on a regular basis, to like just do a little debrief of after you and I have this chat, I'm going to have a little bit of audit of like, how it went, not in the sense of, I should have said this or that, or, I know we always have those, I forgot this, I always have those little things, but I'm talking more just about like, okay, was I true to myself? Did I, provide value? Like, did I support you in a way to be able to ask better questions? Like whatever, like just have a look, or even like how you ask your questions, or how the room was set up. How was it making me feel? Like just starting paying attention to like all these little things and how I'm responding to that. How did I perform? How did I feel? Kind of think about it afterward and kind of wonder what that was. Was it the way Matt was, just the way you look, the way you're sitting there, the way you're speaking to me, like just that intention, that vibe kind of, it's going to change how I'm responding and feeling is if I'm paying attention. Yeah. Right. And so I think some of it's hard to do in the moment for most people. They don't realize it, but just stop and take a minute. Yeah. You had any sort of interaction, good, bad, or otherwise, just stop for a second and think about, well, how did your body feel? How did you feel physically during that time? I remember when I was doing like more like coaching and teaching martial arts more often, like especially with the kids, I used to do these exercises where, have them think about like, I don't know, like ask the group of kids, like, hey, what did you guys do this weekend? Did you have like someone have a birthday party with the best friend? They had like a huge party, had a blast. So I started thinking about like, okay, everyone imagine last time you went to your friend's party, or you had a party, and all your friends were there, you had all this, and just think about how did you feel? How did your stomach feel? How did your body feel? How was that? When you think about it now, how do you feel? Like really think about that. Imagine we're going to go there right now. We're going to go do this thing that you love so much. Like how are you feeling right now as soon as I say we're going to do that? Just think about that for a minute. Start to get a sense of it. Think about like, okay, you did something you shouldn't have done. You know what I mean? You're home sitting there and dad just pulled up to the driveway. Like all of you right now, all of your gut just went boom. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like everyone's like, oh, like, we all got tense, got goosebumps, got freaked out, whatever, heart rate went up, we're holding our breath, whatever. Like a lot of things physically happen just thinking about that. Yeah. So what I try to encourage people to do is to start thinking about like your body's telling you a lot of things, right? Sometimes it's really hard up here. There's a lot of noise up here in your head. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's all these voices, all this noise, all this, questions, there's all these things, this doubt, so many things. And some of it's like part of your brain just trying to convince you to stay who you are. And others trying to like help you get the hell out of there, right? You know what I mean? But mostly it's trying to protect you and just like, oh, let's just not face or deal with anything. Let's just stay in this nice little place and protect you from everything, and not stay, and just or just buy into what you already believe and just stay in this vicious cycle of, whatever, your victim or whatever the thing is, right? Just staying there too much. But your body is not. Your body is like saying, hey, you know what I mean? This makes me feel this way. This makes me that way. This way, that way, whatever. And so I think an easy place to start is just listening to your body and like taking an audit of those things, because it is always telling you things and you're just not paying attention.
I feel like one of the biggest things I learned from you during our work together was like, I actually wrote it down. You don't have to feel good to do good.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was something you shared, and I was just like, man, that is so good. So for example, if your body is elevated heart rate, or you're feeling anxious, or whatever it is, like essentially what I took away from it was like, regardless of what you're feeling, still do the thing.
Yes.
Is that what it means?
That's one of the things it means. And I tell you the one reason why I tell my kids this all the time. In fact, just the other day with my oldest, I was telling them this exact same thing, is that every time that you're facing something that you should do or you need to do, like you understand that's an important thing to do, whatever that might mean for you, right? Every single time. This is black and white. There's no gray area here. Every time you face that moment where there's something you want to do, but you just don't feel like doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, oh, you know, it's going to be difficult, whatever the thing is, right? Every single time you have a very, very important moment right there. If you choose not to do it, straight away, there's parts of your brain. This is how I tell the kids, like there's like these little connections in your brain that just explode and disappear forever. You literally just became weaker. Like you literally just told your brain that you're the kind of person that like, you can't really do it. Like you're not going to be able to do this.
Fuck.
Right? And then the second, in that moment, if you decide to do this thing, regardless of how you're feeling, right away, a whole bunch of new connections in your brain just got freaking strong. Like a giant muscle just like grew and got so much stronger that now you just told the story to your brain that like, you know what? I am that guy. I'm that dog. You know what I mean? I get this done. Doesn't matter what's in front of me. I'm the kind of person who can do it anyway. Right? Every single time you do that. Every time it could be the smallest little thing. Like you just got to go pick up that damn mess off the floor, but you just don't want to bother doing it. Or like you did something, kind of dropped it. You know, you could like walking down the street and dropped a little bit of trash. You could just pick it up, put it in the bin, or you just walk away from it. Like even small little things like this.
Fuck.
Doesn't matter, but every day there's a ton of little decisions you can make or actions you can take, right? That every single time, there's no in middle ground here. You're either becoming weaker and buying into the story that, you know, you just can't and you're not going to. You're just going to stay there.
Yeah.
Right? Or no, you are that guy and that gal, whatever. You're going to get it done.
Yeah.
So every time.
I'm
Every
literally
time.
sitting here thinking to myself how, I hate to say it, but like I'm weakening myself day in and day out. Yeah. Even as simple as something as putting my shoes back in the shoebox after I wear them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like
yeah.
I'll just put them down. Oh, I'll do that tomorrow morning.
Yeah. And
like
it would take
little
like 3
things like
seconds to
that.
do.
Fuck, man.
Like 3 seconds. So it literally is like 1, 2, 3.
Yes,
10.
you're right.
It's like
You're
nothing.
right. You're right.
Just that little bit of effort. And again, you're not going to do everything all the time that thing, but you want to have that skill leaning a lot more to like showing yourself that you can do this and you are the person that gets it done.
Yeah.
You are that kind of character that like you follow through. You do it anyway. Like you have to be.
Yeah.
And I think it's easier to do all those small little things. Sometimes the big ones are tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
And so like, and they're not, maybe in the big ones are always going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. But the problem is all those little things, those day-to-day little things that you didn't do, when the big one comes, you ain't going to be that person.
Yeah.
You're just going to do what you've already done.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get through it and it's going to destroy you. It's going to be very, very difficult, a lot more stressful, more anxiety, more whatever, you know, more fear behind it because you're like fighting so much of all this poor habits that you have, this story that you've told yourself of who you really are. I know it sounds like a simple thing, but it's like it literally is those little things you do each day.
Well, success is actually simple, right? I think we just make it complex.
Yeah, we have to, right? We want to make it, you know,
harder to achieve.
Always.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey everyone, pausing this episode to share something with you. In a world of hyper competitiveness, I think the best quote that I can share with you is that there is no one in the world youer than you, and that is truer than true, which is exactly why I wanted to share with you today about Brand Builders Group. It's an organization I've been working with over the last few months. It is absolutely incredible, and today I am sharing with you the opportunity to hop on a free brand call with a brand strategist to help you break through the wall of obscurity. We are in a hyper competitive space at the moment, whether it be on social or with your podcast or with your blog or with your books or getting on stage. No matter what your endeavor is, this is an opportunity for you to hop on a free strategy call with someone from the team to be able to help you navigate the waters of making sure that you are breaking through the wall and taking advantage of all of the opportunities that you most definitely deserve. Again, there is no one in the world youer than you. So no matter what the problem is that you solve, there might be other people that are out there that also solve the same problem, but there is a strategy that can be placed into your initiatives that will help you break through that wall with speed. So I want to share this with you. It is freebrandcall.com/Matt LeBris. That is going to be in the show notes of this episode, whether you're tuned in from audio or through YouTube, whatever it is, freebrandcall.com/Matt LeBris. Hey, going back to your journey here, and, I shared this with you before we started recording. Like, I think it is so wickedly impressive that you didn't get stuck in the environments that you were in. Right. And we didn't go so far down the rabbit hole of the stories you've shared with me in our work together and whatnot. Yeah. But like, for just putting it out there, dude, you've been through some shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you've been through some shit. Oh, yeah. But now you're the coach of one of the biggest athletes in the world. You're sitting here today as one of the most successful coaches, not just for athletes, but for CEOs and beyond. Right. Olympians. Like, dude, you didn't get stuck in the shit. No. What did it take for you to get yourself out of that place and into a new arena that might have been like not even just a dream, like maybe not unfathomable at that particular point?
Sure. I mean, I have two answers to this. One is the thing about myself, like you're asking me, like, what did I do? But what I did is just make sure I was around the right people. Simple as that. Just slowly but surely, and with a lot of intention.
How did you know they were the right people, though?
I mean, because they were where I wanted to be, or they were the kind of people that I knew that I needed to be around, like not the other kind of people. You know what I mean? They weren't these evil bad people.
Yeah.
Cool. It's COVID. But anyway, so I think to me, it's the most powerful thing is the people.
Yeah.
Is the environment, the people being. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I tell you, I can't even control it anymore. It's so weird lately. It's just like coming out of me.
Hey man, that's
so
a
weird.
response.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you, what is your body telling you when I bring that up?
I mean, at first it's like, man, shut the fuck up, stop asking me this. I don't want to talk about this. What are we talking about? But like in a joking way, not for real though. Like, I mean, in a way, I like it. I just find it like, I'm kind of separating myself from my body doing this, and like, so it's crazy. I have this like physical reaction that's happening before I'm even like, I have no control over this. It just happened. And I don't know why suddenly now it's like, it's really interesting to me. Like I've been very intrigued. So I like it. I don't dislike it.
It is interesting because like we've talked about this stuff before.
Yeah.
And it didn't provoke this response, but I'm curious if it's because we were behind a computer screen. So like
maybe because it's like I'm gonna give here face to face. Maybe
Years ago, I'm interviewing this. I think she's a psychotherapist, a psychologist, something of the sort.
Yeah.
And she said something to me that it was about therapy, and it was just so interesting because I did all of these interviews virtual for, let's call it 5 years, right? We're kind of only doing in person for the last 2.
Okay.
And in this conversation, which was virtual, she was like, Matt, going to therapy via, telehealth or Zoom, right? She's like, that's like having sex with a condom on, right? Like it's safer.
Sure.
But like, I'm curious if why this is coming up is because we're in person.
I think 100%. Like think about just, I don't know, like presenting, like a simple thing like I present. Yeah. I'm like doing it through a computer, even interviewing. Actually, like when all these like Zoom ones, it's just not the same. Even the work that we did. Yeah. Like I just felt like, it was good, but it wasn't, I mean, I'm not saying it was bad. Hold on. Yeah. No, but I can tell there was like, just something missing, and that was that. It was like getting in that room together and just like brainstorming and going through it, and that because you feed off each other. It's like presenting versus like just talking to a camera. Yeah, when you have the room of people and you kind of read the room and get the vibe and see the reactions, like the direction to go a bit better. You know how to like engage more and really make it more valuable when versus just like a cold camera. Like it's just there. There's nothing. There's a barrier between you and that, and I think there's a lot of like things in the world that like maybe it's hard to measure. Like this, just being near each other. Yeah. Like there's a lot of things we can measure, even like about just the power of touch or the power of being like just socializing. They even said, I remember years ago when I was working with some neuroscientists, they were saying that, I can't remember what the age was. It might've been like 65 or 75, maybe 70 or something. That if an elderly person joined a social group, they added 5 years to their life.
Holy shit.
And socializing like face-to-face, interacting with somebody.
Yeah, that's like some blue zone stuff, right? Like the blue zone, like you look at, there's like blue zones in Greece, and these guys, every morning before work, they get together. Yeah. And this actually ties in perfectly because you're talking about like who you surround yourself with, like environment, so on and so forth, right? So like these guys in the blue zones, they get together before work. After work, they get together and they have a drink. Before work, it's coffee, and it's like there's always some form of community.
Yeah. I think everyone. That's one of the biggest things. I think everyone needs to feel like they're part of something else or something bigger than just themselves. Like to really get through some of the things you're talking about. Even like to feel like you're part of something more than just you. Yeah. It gives you that extra little drive, that extra little bit of push. But to go back to like what you were saying, like how to get out of this environment or how to go from one extreme to the other is. I don't know. Like I said, a big part of it was I stuck to my values. I spent a lot of time developing a character that is of who I wanted to be, and I made sure that like I took actions on that thing. I made sure I was constantly checking back and making sure that was the right thing to do. Yeah, I was making sure I was around the right people, and understanding when those people were the right people versus when I had to move on or vice, whatever the case may be.
Oh, that's good too.
Because sometimes it, because like I said, how do you know they're the right people? Well, first you don't. And maybe you think they are, but then you might find out, okay, maybe not quite, It reminds me of like school's about to start again. right? And the kids go to a new school, and they start to maybe they meet a few, like my kids. 3 of my 4 kids were born in Australia. We moved back to the U.S. here like a few years ago. It was the first time in the U.S. for them, and starting a new school, new friends everywhere. Before school started was summer, and they met a few kids here like jiu-jitsu and basketball, like neighbor kids, and they went to the same school. And I was like, just understand, like, these are your friends now, but you might find like within a month or a few weeks or a month or two that you'll start to, maybe some of them you're gonna kind of grow apart from, or you're gonna find out they're not really the kind of people you want to be around, or you might meet some other people that you might connect better with, even though right now these are your friends. Then it doesn't mean they're going to stay that way, and because you don't really know them very well yet. Well, for a lot of things. And also we all grow in different ways, and we all start to, like I said, even with what I went through and what I did is like most people go one way and I went another way, right? Because only dead fish will go with the flow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But no, I think for me it was just always something inside of me, man. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if it was just a genetic thing, if it was something from my youth. It was just something that I can't tell you exactly why. Yeah. But it was just, I just knew that I needed to act and be a certain way, and that if I could continue to do this and continue, like even with my career, I did the same thing. I was working in places, I've done things and been in environments where people have way more education, way more experience, way more everything than I do, but yet I'm in there. Yeah. And I'm doing just as good a job, if not better. Right? Because I made sure I was around the right people, doing the right thing. Just, I don't know. I wish I could bottle that up and figure out like a real straight answer of like how did I do it. But that's the only thing I know for sure that was on my mind and very, very conscious and aware of the entire time. Yeah. Is it didn't matter. Is the second I decided to like even open that door to go down, accept something or act a certain way that was not directly related to either my survival, because I had to, but just because of what everyone else was doing, then I knew that's it. I could see what was happening. I could see how these people were and what was going on with them. And I for whatever reason, I think one of the biggest things, and I still do this to this day, professionally, personally, everything, is that I'm always zooming in and zooming out. Constantly just kind of taking a step back, trying to separate myself from what's going on, kind of scanning my environment, whatever that might mean, maybe it's my internal environment, my external environment. Yeah. Just always sort of zooming in and zooming out, right? Just to be sure. Like, am I still on the right path? Am I like doing the best I really can? Am I helping the people around me to be the best that they can be? And are they the right people at the right time?
What does that look like for you, the zoom in and the zoom out? Is that something you have to do after an event? Can you do it while you're in the event?
All the above. For me now, I do it all the time, constantly. Yeah. I mean, if you want to give a simple example, it would be like with my work, like say with Arena during a match. I'm only watching like half the match or practice the same thing. And I do that on purpose because I don't want to get caught up just seeing what everyone else is seeing. Because you kind of get onto a track, like the way you're seeing something, the way you're perceiving something.
You stay stuck in that perception.
And then all you start to do is kind of see more things to continue to feed what you already thought you were seeing. Yeah. Right? So you kind of get stuck into a rhythm, and because everything has like a rhythm to it, right? There's a flow and a rhythm to everything. And so I think it's important to like see what that rhythm is, but to really understand it, like sometimes you have to just don't look at it, go back and see it again. See what you may have missed, because you probably missed something. Right? We all do. You're going to miss something. Of course, yeah. So I don't like to get too caught up. I know it sounds sort of counter, intuitive or productive. Everyone's like, oh, I got to be full, 100% in, and well, I always have 1 foot in, 1 foot out with everything I do, but not in the sense that people usually describe that.
Yeah,
right?
That's like committed, not committed. Yeah,
it's not in that sense. It's more just, again, I don't want to just do what everyone's been doing. Yeah, I want to understand where they came from and why that works for them so far, and why most people keep doing that. I want to understand that, but I don't want to just buy into just that. Yeah, because there's a whole world out here of opportunities. There's a whole bunch of things I can learn from so many different places and so many different people. Yeah. So when I keep developing those tools and figure out what's going to be best for this particular scenario and this person or whatever the situation is. So, that zoom in, zoom out, I'm doing all the time. Yeah. Maybe sometimes too much. Maybe sometimes for me, I realize sometimes maybe I'm overthinking something. I get caught up in that. Yeah. That's probably something I have to be, what's something I am aware of that, I'll kind of get fixated on something a little bit too much. And even though I'm like, I have like these voices in my head all the time. I don't know if that's good or not, but like while it's happening, it's like I'll still be doing it, but like there's another voice going like, dude, what the hell are you doing, man? Just knock it off. Like, you know why you're doing this, and you know how to not do that. So why are you still doing it?
That's the inner coach of the coach.
Yeah, exactly. It's just constantly like, yeah, like I'll be talking to someone or doing something, and like I'm and at the same time the voice is going, okay, dude, it's time to stop talking. Like, just move on or do this or that, but. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe I need medication. I don't know, but
well,
so far it's working for me.
Yeah, it most definitely is, man. One of the things that you shared right before we started recording this was something really interesting, and you were talking about Arena owning her level, right? Like owning her level, obviously number one in the world. I'm going to ask you, and I'm not doing this to provoke emotion again, or I don't want you walking out of here being like, this fucking guy.
Dehydrated from all the tears, man.
Yes, exactly. But like, I'm really curious if part of you getting to the next level in your life required you to own the level of where you were, right? Like where you found yourself at 13, or even as you were climbing, right? Like I know that you were surrounding yourself with people. Like, did you have to own every single level to break through to the next?
I think it's important to constantly be adding to your foundation, like that base that you have, and making sure that's the right base, and you keep that thing as strong as you can. And you only do so by continuing to add layers to that, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
So I don't really look at it as like, there's a foundation that I'm building my empire, am I building on top of a foundation? I just think that it's all foundation. All the building, all that noise, all that stuff is just the external stuff, the programs and steps and training and plans and all these things that we use that are useful and needed. To me, this is just like the external stuff, the noise. The thing that makes everything work better, no matter what you're doing, is your foundation. So always adding layers to that, and understanding that, if I had some sort of success or some opportunity or something positive did happen, right? It didn't mean like, okay, now it's mine because I'm special or I deserve it or anything like that. It's just like, okay, here's this opportunity. I got to make the most of it. And I got to understand how did I even end up getting this opportunity?
Yeah.
Like, where did this come from? What did I do or others do for me, or I did for others, that allowed this door to open up? Or what happened that allowed me to see this opportunity? Because people miss them all the time. They don't even see them, like to even realize to do something about it. So understanding how I got to that point where there was or if it was an obstacle, right? Whatever it may have been, is I needed to understand, well, how did I end up here? And what can I do about it, right? And then go and do something about it, right? And then see if I can repeat that.
Yeah.
And then go and again, and keep going through this thing of like, can I make the most of this opportunity? Can I make more of the same opportunity? And when I could understand how and why that happened, like for me, like who I am and what it is around my environment and like how I manage my energy, all these kind of things, is okay, cool. Now I can go and I'm ready for the next little thing, the next opportunity, or I'm ready to deal with the next obstacle, whatever. I look at everything as like, I'm constantly, like all the time, looking at what's going on. If there's a scenario, whether it's my work, my family, my personal, whatever it is that, I'm assuming there's going to be some obstacles at some point, right? With everything, there's going to be, as well as some opportunities. I believe there's always going to be those, both things all the time. Whether we see them or not, or how they influence us may vary, but there's always going to be those things. So what I'm trying to always do, if I'm working on something, I'm trying to do something. I'm always looking at, what's the traditional thing is like, if we're trying to build a business, like say, or helping, become number one in the world in tennis or whatever the thing is, right? We assume that there's all these obstacles that we have to plan in advance for, to like, how are we going to manage through all these obstacles? We have this obstacle, we have to learn how to, get better at this, or, deal with that. Like that's all, like all these books, it's all everyone's talking about all the time. But I don't hear much talk also on the other side of the coin is like, well, what are you going to do when an opportunity shows up? Right? What happens when maybe something happened faster than you expected?
Yeah.
Maybe something unexpected, like maybe you had this thing like, in 5 years, hopefully I'll be there, but it happens tomorrow. Because that can't happen, right? If you're doing the right thing and you're ready. So always what I'm doing is I'm looking at, okay, I'm working on, let's just keep it simple. There's this thing I'm working toward right now, a specific thing. I want to know what potential challenges or obstacles I'm going to face, but also what potential opportunities could come along, like whether my network or whatever it might be, like what's some opportunities that could happen, right? And then I want to understand what resources do I have available to me now? What could I actually manage well enough to either deal with or take advantage of right now? And what am I going to do when either those things show up? So then what happens is because I'm always kind of understanding on both ends of that, I'm ready to jump. Something comes up, boom, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Something happens, I'm not freaking out, right? So literally that's exactly what happens all the time, is that if some obstacle shows up, it's probably something I kind of anticipated because I've been thinking about it and I'm becoming more and more aware of it. And even if it was something that I wasn't expecting, I have a lot more resources and freedom in my mind to deal with this and be more flexible, because fundamentally I already kind of knew if I have some obstacle to face, I kind of knew how I was going to manage it. I knew what resources I had. I knew how much energy I could spend on it, or whatever the case may be. I knew I had like a fundamental base of how I would deal with an obstacle.
Yeah.
So that gave me the freedom to deal with anything, even if it's unexpected. And the same with an opportunity. Like I'll know if something comes up, like, okay, I'll know what resources to activate, right? I'll know how to jump and what's going to do. I'll know what other things I can kind of put off to the side for the moment so I can shift more attention and energy to this thing.
Yeah.
To take advantage of it, right? And so, and again, same thing, even if it's a little bit different than I expected, right? Because fundamentally, I was already prepared. I knew what resources I had, mentally, physically, network, all that stuff, to deal with this and take advantage of an opportunity. That even if it varies from what I thought, or something I didn't foresee, fundamentally, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So I can just, I don't have to freak out. I don't have to reinvent the wheel on the spot and stress and freak out about it. I can just be like, hey, cool, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can just jump and go.
Yeah.
Right? And I can even figure out as I'm going.
That sounds like a muscle you've built over time.
It is. That's what I mean. You're always looking back at this. You have to be.
Yeah, because I'm just like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, there have definitely been times, whether it be obstacles or opportunities, where I've deployed too many resources or too little resources, and I'm just like shooting my load in the wrong place or what, like whatever, exactly. Right? Like, yeah.
I mean, that could still happen. Right? That could still have, of course, it's not gonna be perfect, but you just need to constantly be looking at this and understand, like, what do you really have? And again, to go back to this people thing, since we keep talking about environment and people, because to me it's a big part, is on either of those things, who's got my back? Who can I rely on if I'm gonna need some help with something?
Yeah.
You know, who's gonna like push me to go? Let's go for it. Join me, you know what I mean? Like, who might have like some sort of connection or resource to help me, or even experience in that thing to help me go, hey, I'm about to do this thing. I've never done this before. Yeah. Like I've never had this kind of meeting. I never had this opportunity. Like, you know, what's the approach I should take? You know, knowing who those people might be that you can just go to on either end of those things. It might be the same people, it might be completely different people, but knowing that, you know, you'll still make some mistakes. You might hesitate a little bit. You might like get overexcited and overdo it and lose, you know, whatever. But overall, you're going to handle it. Yeah, and it's gonna be much better off because you're just always understanding who's around you and who has how they influence you, how they connect with you, how they do they really have your back? I guess you could say. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, would they really like the way you have theirs? Yeah, kind of thing, right? So making sure you know how far different people will go to really help you. Yeah, when it really matters, right?
Absolutely.
Because that's the part that's going to be different. There's going to be a lot of people around you, potentially, depending on what you do. Yeah. And like, where you at. But, who are the ones that not only can help you, but actually will when it matters most. And just always keeping in touch with those people. Keep connected to those guys. Yeah. Right? And helping them as much as you can, because they're going to have those same things. Absolutely. Right? And then it all just goes around with no expectations, no anything, just knowing and being there and being, like, again, sticking to your values, just being there for them. Yeah. There's no expectation. There's not like, someone needs a hand and I'm able to do something about it. Like I have the ability to help them. Okay, I'm going to help them out. Yeah. Right? That's it.
Goes a long way.
It does, because in those moments you need those people. Yeah. Like you need that. Whether it's just a soundboard to talk off, go back and forth with, to vent with someone, or actually some sort of tangible, assistance with something. Yeah. Guidance with whatever. It doesn't even matter what it is, right? I don't know why. It just reminds me of, I got this shirt recently. It reminds me of a movie from here. It's I can't remember what it was, but a bunch of Boston boys. And it's like, whose car are we going to take? This one? Oh God, I can't remember the guy's name now.
What the hell's, no,
I know what I'm talking about though, right? Like there was like someone like did something to some girlfriend of theirs or a friend of theirs. So he went to his friend like, hey, we're going to go hurt some people.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? He's like, and the guy's, his only question was like, whose car are we going to take?
Yes.
I actually got a shirt that says, whose car are we going to take? Yeah, I just got that.
That's freaking great.
I don't know, it just popped in my head, but you know what I mean? Like it's build a community. Yeah. And it's not easy to do. It can be really hard, and like it depends on where you are right now. Like maybe just one person, and it may not be that much, but that's where it starts. It's like those little bits, over and over, just making sure. And I'm a really strong believer that like more and more of those people will be around if that's who you are.
So you're saying like what you embody is what attracts those.
All the above. Like it goes both ways. Like who you are, how you your real intention. Don't just like this facade. Everyone like has this, sort of like this image of who they want to be and how they, they pretend to be a certain way. Yeah. It's like, just be who you are. No matter where you are, just be you. Yeah. Right. Okay. And that's how I am. Like, that's one of the biggest things. Like, I am who I am. That's it. Like, okay, I'll dress or I'll speak, I'll adjust a little bit based on the environment. Right. on what I'm doing.
That's natural, right?
But that's just like an appropriateness thing. It's like manners and being appropriate for the situation. But I'm still who I am, right? I might be in some situations speaking to a group of rugby guys and I'm swearing my head off, man. I'm throwing shit and swearing. I might be in a place with a bunch of kids, teaching jiu-jitsu with a bunch of little kids. I'm going to talk a little bit different. You know what I mean? But I'm still gonna have the same message. I'm still gonna be me. You know what I mean? And that's I think the key part.
That is the key.
And that I think is what also then attracts those people around you. And also is why all the people around you are wanting to help you do more, because they whether they know it or not, or they think about it consciously or not, they just know they're like, well, you're a good person. Like you're someone who they know they can count on, that they can trust, that they can rely on, or whatever the thing might be, the situation might be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know it seems like the theme today is always about just bringing it back to the people around you.
Maybe that's what it needs to be.
I mean, a lot of it is. I think it's about being aware of yourself,
first
and foremost, and making sure you just, you know who you are, what you stand for.
Yeah.
And the thing about this, I will say this, though. Again, it's that zoom in and zoom out thing, is that this is another issue I find, and I would say probably even more so the last few years since I moved back to the U.S. especially. It's very, how'd you say, heated in this country right now. Very divided.
Very.
Very divided, which is blowing me away.
Even in tennis, I saw something last night. I'm not going to say because obviously
it's crazy. I know, and I know it's like, and people then they take something almost out of context, and it becomes something that it wasn't in the first place.
Social media always does that,
and then people start to buy into it, like, yeah, that's right, and then it just grows and grows, and it's like, what's happening right now? Like I moved back here, and I don't know what's going on. Like I don't get it sometimes, but I try to always again zoom in and zoom out, but this thing about like knowing your values and what you stand for and having the boundaries and build that character.
Yeah.
Part of that auditing process is just having specific. It could even be structured time, like 1 week every month, no social media, or no 1 week every month, you're not allowed to watch that same news program at all.
Yeah.
Not allowed to scroll through because all that happens is you have a certain belief, right, about yourself and about the world. Okay, and the way the world is right now, the way technology is. You're going to see. First of all, let's do this. First of all, forget technology. If there's a belief you have or something you're thinking about, you're going to see it everywhere. If there's a way that you think things are, you're going to see that thing in everything. Period. Your brain's going to, oh yeah, that's this thing. I see it, and that's all you're going to see. Now we add technology in the game. And what does technology do? If I have my phone, it's going to feed me what I've already been looking at more. Even our phones, it reads our expressions now with this AI thing.
Yeah.
It knows like when I'm watching something, how I'm relating to it, how long I watch something. So it's going to be more of the same thing, right? So you're going to get fed. Not only naturally do you going to see this, the way your brain works, but now everything you do and see is the same message. So you're now seeing this thing, whatever your belief is or your about yourself or about the world, in everything.
Yeah.
And that's not how the world actually is. But that you really, really, truly believe that's what it is because that's all you hear and see. And then this becomes the story of who you are, your identity, about the world, about all these different things. So I think what I do on purpose, and I've always done, and I'm just more on it now because it seems like it's harder to do this because it's freaking everywhere, but is to just step back and be like, I'll go and have conversations with people. I know that it doesn't even matter the topic, about sport, about life, about politics. I don't care. But I know that they have a completely different understanding than I do or belief that I do. And I just want to talk to them. Just
to expand your horizon.
Just to understand where they come from. Most of the time, like you go, I hadn't thought about it that way before. I can see how you think that. Or I might be like, man, you need to get outside more. Like you need to get off your phone and go visit some other people. Sometimes it's another extreme where they're like so locked in on one thing. But I think it's very important that just change my environment, that zoom out part, even for myself, because I understand, like, even though I spent a lot of purposeful time separating myself from things or being objective as I can or trying to do the right thing, all these things. I do it my best all the time, as much as I possibly can. I'm a human. And I know I have my own biases. I know I have my own beliefs. And I know that my decisions are still being sort of influenced by other things that I've been watching or seeing or hearing. But that's why it's important to like really monitor, what kind of conversations you allow, not just the conversations you're having, but what conversations you allow. Like that you allow maybe you're not doing this, but others around you are talking about these things or acting a certain way or judging a certain thing like all the time.
Yeah.
And even if you disagree or you're just like not really buying into it, well, you're still allowing that. And it's still part of your environment having an influence on you. Whether you want to believe it or not, it is.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to be aware of those things and of those people in those particular situations and conversations because they are influencing you whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's just taking an audit of that all the time. just making sure you just have to step out, you know. And again, I'll get off my phone for a week. I won't look at any social media.
That's a powerful thing to do.
I won't do anything. I don't want to watch any TV. I don't listen to any conversation. I don't care. Because the reality is, everyone feels like they're going to miss some big news thing or something, right? But the reality is, this stuff just keeps cycling through the same crap over and over again.
Over and over.
You can disappear for a month, come back, and you didn't really miss much.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of, you know, the ideas of what's going on. It's the same crap.
What if an individual has a belief they don't want to have about themselves, right? Like we're saying that's good. Right? Like we're saying that we're going to continuously see the belief we have.
Yeah.
How do you start to shift your beliefs into a direction you want to go?
I think it can be difficult, but I believe I don't know, my experience personally, but also people I've worked with and helped out, it's just little things over a long period of time.
Okay.
Small little adjustments. Like, how would I say? Let's say, well, I'll first say it reminds me of that analogy, like about, you know, self-image, right?
Yep.
It reminds me of that whole, for a while, it was like a real popular thing, using that analogy about like an airplane and the direction. You know, like if the airplane is traveling and it's like a 0.01 degree off, you know, of the thing, it'll end up in a whole nother country.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Over time, because it's just like that one little bit. So I look at it this way, like I'm going on this journey. This is the self-image I have of myself. And I'm just going in this straight line. And everything I do, see, hear, eat, listen to, talk about is just feeding this belief of like who I am or who I'm not, right? Now, I talked earlier about some of the things you could do to help shift that, right? To make one side more stronger than the other, so you start to have a different belief of yourself. That's one of those little things that we talked about, like those decision-making, action-taking things. But, you know, all those little decisions I was talking about earlier, it could just be the smallest little degree. But even if I only made some small shift, but I was really disciplined and really, like, let's say it's the thing we talked about earlier. Like, there's this thing I really don't want to do. It could be a small thing, could be a big thing. And I choose not to do it versus to doing it. Yeah. Right? It's a black or white. I mean, weaker or stronger, period. Right? And the story I'm telling about who I am is becoming one or the other. Every time I make those little decisions. So it's like that airplane, right? If it's going down that line, only start doing just that alone. On every chance you get with everything, right? Interactions, conversations, decisions, whatever it is. Putting your shoes back in the box.
Putting your fucking shoes back in the box. It could be the big
things and the little things. It doesn't matter. But what happens over time is now, look, that little angle, I'm slowly shifting the direction that I'm heading. Yeah. Right? It's going to take some time, though, because you spent from the day you were born until this moment having this certain belief about yourself. Or being, you know, in an environment that made you believe this is who you were. Even if inside you felt different. Because that was for me. I was in an environment where, like, inside I knew that wasn't me. Right? I was put in this situation. I didn't create that situation. Make sense?
That makes so much sense.
And so that was the biggest part for me that I just
gave me the chills.
Gave me the fucking chills. Because that was the thing I just knew. I don't know why or how, but I just fucking knew it. Yeah. Like inside of me, it was like this thing where I'm like, I didn't know if I was gonna be alive. I didn't know the answers. I didn't know shit. Right? I just knew that like I just knew. Like, this is not who I am. Like, yes, I'm doing certain things to survive. I'm, you know, in an environment where I have to be a certain way to survive. Like, all this, you know, seeing some terrible, evil things, all these kind of things. And I could deal with it, right? I had to deal with it. Yeah. But, like, I just knew, like, I wasn't going to be here forever. As long as I stuck to the values and I made those decisions to do the right thing. Yeah. Even if it was a cost to me. Right? To not go do the bad things that I needed to do, you know, that a lot of people were doing, right? Like, as often as much as I could, I made that other decision that the person who wasn't in that situation would have made.
It's sacrificial in a way.
I mean, yeah, it's almost, well, yeah, it's like,
you were sacrificing.
Short-term pain for long-term gain kind of thing, you know, this sort of idea. But I mean, I'm just telling you, like, that's a big part is, you know, I think first is that awareness is that you have to find a way to help yourself understand that, like, who you think you are, like this belief of, oh, I'm just that kind of person. Well, that's bullshit. Yeah. Like, I don't believe that. Like, there might be certain traits about you that are kind of like, hey, this is how you are, and I don't even care why it is, the nature, nurture. I don't care. Okay, maybe there's parts of those that is how you are. Fair enough. Yeah. Right. But there's all these other parts of you that people are so stuck on, like, oh, that's how it always been. That's how it is. Or, oh, I can't. Oh, because of this or because of that. All this, you know, all these same things. Right. But it's complete bullshit. You can change who you are. You can change by the actions you decide to take of the things you have control over. And sometimes you might be in a situation where you have very little to no control over a lot of the things that you need to have. That's okay. But if you just start somewhere, you just freaking crack it open just a tiny little bit. And that little bit, like, it doesn't even matter what it is. Just fucking hang on to it.
Yeah.
just grab it.
Yeah.
School. But you know what I mean? Because that's where it is.
Yeah.
And then that little crack's going to get bigger and bigger, and you're just going to get stronger and stronger.
You get passionate about this. Why are you so passionate about it?
Because it's frustrating as fuck to me, because like I see it so often. I see it all the time with people.
Yeah.
I see so much potential in so many people. And I see so much like crap that they're dealing with that they don't have to. Like they just don't have to. But they don't know that. They don't believe it. That's just, you know, and look, and I get it. There's a lot of people out there too that, you know, their pain, whatever that might be, physical, emotional, whatever, their trauma, that's like becomes part of their identity. Right. And that's, you get stuck in this cycle. Like if you start talking too much about it, thinking too much about it, again, it's the same thing. So now suddenly you're going to see and hear and feel only this and nothing else, because that's what you do. So you have to, even if that's where you are, okay, fine. I'm not judging people. We've all been there and even still there, but it's like, okay, can you just do like what you said, I said before, like do something no matter how you're feeling. Right. And maybe the thing is just take a little step back for a second. Go. Maybe when you hear someone talking about this other thing about like, you know, like therapy can be very helpful for sure, but also it can be very harmful in the sense that they start talking so much about it. That's all they talk about. That's all they think about. Then they get stuck in this pattern.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And you never fucking graduate.
And you don't. You just get stuck there.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but then you hear people kind of talk about that, or even other ways you can approach something. And you know what? Even if your initial is like, okay, no, I can't because blah blah blah, or no, whatever, and you're so stuck in this like this pattern you're in, just find a way just to, even for half a step back, and just think, well, what if? Right? Even just try to open yourself up just a tiny little bit to kind of see what they're talking about, or even if you don't want to buy into it, just why don't you just go ask, like, why the hell how could you even think that?
Yeah.
Like, you have a completely different opinion than me. Even think about it this way. That might be an easier step. Is go like, how in the hell could you even think it that way? How could you think that's a thing? Take it from that. Don't even like open yourself up to try to hear what you have to say, but just question them. Like, how do you even believe that? And then let them answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you do that enough times, maybe one of those times someone will say it in a way and in just the right time where you go like, oh, damn, maybe.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But again, you have to, I think that whole self-image and changing this change, it starts with that awareness of yourself, of where you are now and why you're there, without judging, without excuses, without reasons, without anything. Just like, okay, it is what it is, right? And then whether you're trying to change or not, or you're willing to change or not, just do it anyway. Go just question someone else's approach or perspective. Even if you can't just talk to them and hear it, just question it then. Question without judging if you can.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Just try it.
Why not? How do you not judge?
Oh, of course, we all judge. That's how it is. It's just, I think you have to have that you'll have that initial reaction. You'll be judging. Yeah. And you just got to tell yourself to shut the hell up and just try again.
Yeah. No,
I mean, sometimes you have to. I think it kind of goes to my little thing. I have this little saying. I say, don't fight it, don't feed it.
Don't fight it, don't feed it.
So like, you know what? We're not going to judge. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to happen. And judging doesn't have to be some extreme, like, oh, it's this, but you're still going to have like an opinion or a feeling about what someone else is saying. Right. And whether it's the same or different a little bit, whether it's extremely different or very similar, but not quite, like we're still going to have this sort of like, we're going to filter it through what we believe. Yeah. And what we understand. Right. So you're still going to judge. So I think this whole fight it, don't feed it thing is, to me in that situation, is more just like, okay, you know, you're going to have your opinion about it. Right. So just try to check yourself on that. Just, well, you know, when I, like, you might tell me, you might say something today that I might like, I never really thought of it that way. Maybe I disagree a little bit. Let's say I disagree. So I might have that in my mind, that thought, or maybe we talk about it, I disagree with it. But at some point, whether it's in the moment or later, again, it goes back to that zooming out part, or debriefing or auditing, whatever you want to say, is I go like, well, why do I disagree with this? Yeah. Like, why am I so like sure that I'm right in this situation? Or why did I feel this way about that? Like, why did I have that reaction? Is it just like a protective thing? Right? I'm kind of, you know, or is it like an arrogant thing? Or is it like I have a different experience than this person? Or is it the person, the source of the information I don't trust? I don't know well enough. I don't know, you know, whatever the thing might be. Like, well, why did I have that? You know, just ask myself that. Yeah. So a big part is, again, It takes the practice and just look. For me, it's like a habit now. It just happens automatically, right? But what it is, habits are kind of that thing of like, you just have to have just enough discipline, just long enough for it to kind of become more of a habit. You kind of do it more automatically. And you're not going to do it every time. I don't do it every single time, probably. Maybe I do. Okay, I probably do. Anyway, I'm a little bit crazy like that. But, you know, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't be so like hard on yourself about it. You know, that you are going to mess up sometimes. You're not going to always do the right thing. You're not always going to, you know, step back and kind of ask yourself those questions like, you know, what worked, what didn't work kind of thing, or why am I feeling this way? But I do that everywhere I went. Even when I was studying, I go to a conference or something, or there's a teacher talking about something. I've always done this. Even when I was, you know, the martial arts school that helped me get off the streets. Yeah. You know, and like I remember my coach and sensei, the you know, after I was there for so many years, that was one of the things he said that you know, we were talking about character, and you know, I had to read a lot of books and write stuff as part of like all the black belt levels. We had like stacks of books on psychology, human behavior, physio, like all kinds of history. Yeah. So we had a lot of like stuff to study besides just how to fight, you know what I mean? Which was pretty cool. I think that helped me a lot in a lot of ways too.
I'm sure it did.
But that was one of the things that I remember him saying to me, and when he first said it, he said, he's like, one of my biggest strengths, I question everything. And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, no, I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but you're just so curious, like you want to understand, well, why? Yeah. And then he I remember him telling me more detailed it wasn't just that general curiosity. It was like, I want to understand, like, well, why do you think that? Yeah. Like, what is it about you and your life and your experience that led you to believe, like, understand what you're telling me now? Like, why is that? And I remember that from that moment, so I was doing it naturally, apparently. But from that moment, I've been 19 or 20 or something like that at that time. And, you know, everywhere I went to school, I went to a conference, I didn't show up with my opinion about what I think they were saying. What I always want to understand is like, why the hell, how did they come up with this? Yeah. I was just curious, like how? Like, what did you study? What did you do? What did you experience? Like, okay, you have these things you studied, but like, you're a person, right? You had a whole bunch of life experience, and you interpreted this information this knowledge you gained in a certain way. So I want to understand that. And when I understand that, then I get it. Yeah. And I go, okay, I can see why you have that opinion or that, you know, approach to something. Right. And then I can also understand, like, well, how can I make it my own? Yeah. You know, because I need to make it my own. I don't want to just copy what you're doing. You know, it's not copy and paste. It doesn't work in the real world. Right. It has to come from me. Yeah. So I have to take it and kind of make it my own. I remember hearing a quote, I can't remember what book it was, but it was one of those, like, I don't know. Anyway, I'll remember the name of the book in a minute. I read too many books.
You're going to remember when you put your head down on the pillow. Yeah, later tonight. That's usually how it happens. Exactly.
I can even see it right now, but I can't even say the words. But it was a quote of from, was it Picasso? It was, good artists borrow, great artists steal. Ooh. Yeah, and it was a Picasso. It was a quote. And it was one I remember when I first read. I was like, I never heard that, because you always see all these other things. But it's true. Like, there's nothing new, right? Yeah. But there's just different adaptations and different perspectives and different environments and how they get applied. You know, but it's, you know, and I've been doing, like, say, coaching, for example, for like 25, like forever. Yeah. Right, for a long time, and that's like, I keep seeing these patterns now. Things just repeat themselves. Maybe they have different names. Maybe there's like a different science paper or something kind of behind it, or a different group that's kind of talking about it. But even today, there's these things that we have at US Open right now in the recovery room, right? Almost 20 years ago, I was selling these things.
What is it?
These PEMF mats, this pulsating electromagnetic field stuff. Yeah. It's like the coolest thing now. I didn't realize it was a big thing again until like a year or so ago. But I was like, almost 20 years ago, I was like selling these things.
That's hilarious.
I was even there like while they're doing like research and showing all this, like, you know, we're doing pulling blood, have go on the mat, pull the blood and see the different, like all this stuff we were doing. I mean, at the time, everyone thought it was like, oh, it was crazy stuff. Like, oh, it's I can measure, you can see it. But again, all of a sudden, and then it disappeared for a while. It started kind of coming out a little bit. Yeah. Then it just disappeared. And then all of a sudden now it's coming back again. But my point is, I see all these things keep cycling round and round and round. Yeah. From different, you know, for different reasons. But, you know, I think it's just, I don't even know where I was going with that, to be honest. Yeah, but I don't know. But yeah.
Okay. Boom.
There you go.
Hey, I have a couple more questions here. And Jason, this has been awesome. Seriously, this has been so good. I ask these questions to everyone that hops on the show.
Oh, shite. Let's
The
go.
first one actually comes from an individual, Dr. Michael Gervais. He was with the Seahawks. I don't know if he
Yeah,
still
I know
is.
Of him, yeah. I know of him. I don't know him personally.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. He actually asked this question to me when he was on the show, and I'm like, dude, I'm fucking stealing that. It was so good.
Uh-oh.
But
No pressure.
No pressure. The question is,
Yeah.
how would my life be different if I knew what Jason knows? And it's hypothetical,
Sure.
right?
I like that. I want to steal that too.
Steal it.
How would my life be different? How would your life be different?
Or the audience, right? How would our life be different if we knew what you know?
I mean, it would be a lot less stressful and a lot more stressful at the same time.
Ooh, double-edged sword.
It would be, of course. Like, I think everything, again, I don't know, I see a good and bad in all of these things.
Yeah.
How would life be different?
Well, why would it be less stressful and more?
Well, I just think because I'm going to turn this thing off. Sorry. You see like patterns,
Yeah.
you know, you see these patterns and sometimes, you know, you want to be able to intervene and help.
Yeah.
But you can't help everybody. You can't do it all for everybody. You have to, I think, I don't have a bunch of, I have that mind map. My mind just blows up on how to answer this question. One of the words that keep popping in my head is patience.
Huh.
I don't know why, but I think you're going to have a lot more patience. You're going to understand that, like, okay, even if you can't trust the process or you haven't had enough experience to like have that patience, you know, because a lot of times I think patience sometimes comes from experience. Like you've understood, like, okay, you're going to get there. So I think I have a lot more of that now because of all the experience, but I've always had that sort of sense. But I think people have a lot more patience. You'd have a lot more patience for things. I think you would be a lot more self-aware, which is also the good and bad thing. Because sometimes, you know, you're a little bit too aware of yourself, and in turn, you'd have a lot more awareness of your environment, and the people, especially the people around you.
Yeah.
And that sometimes could be a heavy load. Like when you sense, like, because I even just today, like there's, you know, someone that I'm around quite a bit, you know, recently, you know, since we've been here at US Open, and like you just feel that they're struggling. Like you just feel it, like, and you don't know what you can do to help them. Like, you know what I mean? They're just, you're not in that situation where you're there with that person on that level. Yeah. But you just feel it, like, and you just like, oh man, you can just tell body language. You know, they're kind of doing their thing and going through the motions, but you just know. You know what I mean? And so like, so it's cool because you get like at least myself, you get that, you're really aware of yourself. You sometimes too aware of the people around you and what's really going on, and or if there's like some underlying thing that's like that's not really being addressed, but you know it's there. Yeah. And so sometimes it could be a little bit like frustrating, you know what I mean? In that sense, because you feel it. Yeah. And there's nothing you can do about it. You just know it's there. And sometimes you know, like, you feel like you can do something about it, but you can't. Yeah. Yeah. So it's that kind of thing. And I think, I don't know, man.
No, this is good, man. I mean,
I can think of a few things, but I don't know. It's really weird. At the same time, I almost feel like I don't want to answer that question without, because I feel like it's almost arrogant in a way. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like the things that, so I'm trying to think of some positive things, you know? Yeah. You would never sleep. That's also a thing.
You would never
like sleep. You wouldn't sleep. And if you slept, it would be very painful. Like mentally and emotionally painful. Yeah. I have an issue with sleeping. Like I'll sleep, you know, sometimes days I won't sleep. Yeah. Like period. Like I don't mean, oh yeah, I kind of slept badly. I just like, I'll have my eyes awake. I'll be awake. Sometimes 2-3
I wonder,
days at a time.
Does that go back to times where you felt like you needed to survive?
I mean, I'm not admitting this. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Like there's 100%. Yeah. 100%. So
I get that.
You know, it's getting better in some ways. I have these phases where like I can sleep, but then I remember I went to this place I would do a sleep test kind of thing. And I also had like different, you know, biometric things to measure like what was happening while I was sleeping.
Sure.
I even when I thought I was sleeping for, you know, 4 or 5 hours, which is a lot for me. Yeah. Maybe sometimes 6 hours, which is like Christmas time, you know, kind of thinking, well, I got 6 hours. But if I look at all like the, you know, the metrics of all, you know, like my system, you know, my physiology, what's going on, I'm actually very systemic still. So I'm like doing the opposite of sleeping. Even though I thought I was asleep, I wasn't like resting, like recovering. So just
that's
working
interesting.
through that. Yeah, it's cool.
That's
just working through that stuff. Especially the last couple of years, quite a bit, because it's, you know, it's something obviously you need to sleep to function and to do the thing. And,
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I went to a doc when I was having some weird stuff happening, and one of the first docs actually helped me, you know, like a medical doctor. I did the blood work, this massive panel, and then I get a call like, oh, hey, look, sorry, you know, there was a mistake at the lab. I need you to go back and like, you know, go do it again. You know, sorry about that. I had to go twice because there's like so many different things out. So I had to go and then go back later, and kind of thing. And Same thing happened. She called me. She's like, oh, listen, I don't know what's going on. Like, something's weird. Like, I'm very sorry about this. Like, I'm going to send you to a different company, a different lab. I don't know what's going on with these guys. Because some of the testing wasn't like your kind of standard GP, like, oh, you just do generic, random crap. She goes, I'll send you to the lab. They're very good. Use them all the time. They're just kind of out of my way. But, okay, no problem. Same result. And some of the things on this, the reason she had me do it 3 times and it was still all 3 the same result was that she's like, listen, I like this. You should not be alive right now. This makes no sense.
Holy shit.
Yeah. She said, like, even if I was alive, there's like no way that I'm me, like, functional, talking, energetic, like you'd be a vegetable. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like there was a number of things on there. She's like, so I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah. But you're doing that shit out.
Yeah. So, I mean, some of those blood work things have improved. We've, worked through kind of all the low hanging fruit kind of thing and got better with a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, I think we've addressed a lot of things, but my sleep is still the challenge. So if you want to know if you know what I know, you're going to be understanding a whole new level of what humans are capable of doing.
Yeah. I love that.
On both ends of the spectrum.
Absolutely.
And pretty bad stuff too. So yeah.
I get it. What do you feel like from your position as someone that works with the #1 tennis player in the world, Olympians, CEOs, like, what do you feel like are the top 3 things you have done to contribute to the success of other individuals that have gone from being in the top 100 to the #1?
Sure. I mean, for me, it's always about a person first approach. It's not so much about, the training strategies, the workouts, the skill development. It's all those things are important. You need those things. Oh, sorry. For me, I look at it as a person first approach all the time. Yeah. So I want to know who's in front of me. How can I help that person be a better person? Right? Okay.
So you're saying in the case of Arena, you would say
my goal always with Arena is to help Arena. The reason I stayed with her. Yeah. Because there was a time early on where I had a decision to make. One, the environment was terrible. Like the way it was set up, like her environment, all that was like, oh my God, this is like not healthy for anybody. This is terrible. And at the same time I had an opportunity, like a job offer, like money wise was ridiculous. And it was like literally in an industry, like it was with combat athletes, which is like my sport. Like it was traveling with this country's national judo team. And I was like, yeah. And it was like ridiculous money. Right. And so this was like, oh man, this is so cool. This is like my dream right here. Like this was like, oh yes. Yeah. And then there was this girl I met, like I just barely knew, but there was something inside of me that was like, no, I needed to be here. Yeah. But again, it goes back to the people thing. Yeah. God, it's so weird. It's so weird. We haven't thought about it in a while, but anyway, so for me, to go back to your main question, sorry. It's just that for me, it's always about helping her as a person. Like all this other, yes, I'm very good at training people mentally, physically, getting them to be able to like perform their best, get their head straight, know how to take all their attention and focus it on the right targets, how to manage their arousal levels, how to, turn down the noise of all this, doubt and all these kind of things to be able to perform mentally. I'm very good at physically getting people to move their body and get them to perform really well. I'm very, very good, not to be cocky, but I'm very good at training your body to control your mind, not the other way around. Yeah. Like knowing what you need to do physically right now to get in the right state to go perform your best. That's what I do. Right? Like I use the body first. So I'm very good at all these things, but for me, even that, how I apply those things is going to be depending on who's in front of me. Yeah. Because I think it has to be about the person. Yeah. And the goal is even now, even all the things that I do with Arena, like for your example with Arena, everything is about her as a woman. Like I know after her tennis career is going to be this, it's going to be small compared to her as her entire life. Yeah. Right? She's only going to be a top athlete for so many years. Mm-hmm. She's going to be Arena for the rest of her life. So sure, I'm sure there's things we could do to help her recover and perform better and do it, but would destroy her mentally and physically, emotionally, destroy her. Yeah. Right? She wants to have kids when she's done. She wants to have a family. She wants to have a life that she can enjoy. Yeah. She can enjoy all the fruits of this labor of all the struggles that she's going through, right? She's doing all these great things and, have a long time to enjoy those things. And so for me, anyone I've worked with, it's always the goal is like, where are they wasting their energy? Right? Because it's a lot of what I see mostly is just like they get so caught up in like stressing and freaking out and worry about so many things that are maybe not irrelevant, but kind of irrelevant. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They give it too much power. And a lot of it goes back to what I said before is just teaching them however I can, whether it's directly or indirectly through other people, is this whole idea, like I said before, about don't fight it, don't feed it. just whatever's in front of you, understand this is what it is. And then look at what can you control of the in that situation, and then prioritize those things that you can control.
Yeah.
And just keep cycling through that process to figure that out. So, I mean, not to like be cheesy about like the book thing I'm writing, but like that's literally what it is those three things. I'm always cycling through them and helping them understand how to manage their emotions, right? Like why they're processing, how they express those emotions, their environment, which again, I think we talked about this when we went out.
Energy, environment, and emotions.
Yeah. So, but even with environment, there's two layers. Like it's the internal environment. So anything I'm ingesting, whether I'm drinking, eating, listening, watching, anything that's going into my system, my mind, my mouth, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Just managing that, and then my external environment, which again is a lot more about the people, but also the physical environment. Yeah. So manage your emotions, manage your environment, and managing your energy, which is huge.
Yeah.
Again, emotional energy, physical energy, all just managing those three things.
Yeah.
That is the key to everything else. Doesn't matter what you do or what steps and process you follow. Like this is like the home base. This is your center.
Yeah.
Or like in the thing we're talking about, like it's the operating system. It's like the difference between like the apps on your phone, right? And the actual operating system. The operating system is what's going to determine how well all these other things you do work.
Yeah.
Right? And the operating system is your environment, your emotions, and your energy.
Yeah.
You got to know and understand those things about yourself, and then about others around you. And then only then are you going to like actually be more successful and be able to sustain that success.
Yeah.
Because that's also the other thing. My goal is not only to help you perform your best, but can you sustain it?
Yeah.
And can you do it without costing you relationships and your own personal health and mental health? And because that's what I see most of when people do something crazy, amazing, or they achieve something. There's or they attempt to achieve something. Yeah. I don't care if it's what business guy, folks. Is it athletes? Is it even just people? Like they do it in such a way where like one, they can't repeat it because either it didn't come from them, they relied on technology or they got lucky or whatever, and they don't understand how they did it because they don't understand themselves.
Yeah.
They don't understand how to manage those things. And if the worst part I see is that is the cost. They lose, they don't know who they are. They didn't know who they are to start with, and now they're even more lost, more disconnected from who they are. They're burnt out, they get addictions to different things.
Yeah.
Porn and, social media to alcohol, drugs, they destroy their relationships, pretty soon then because of the way they change, because they're so burnt out, stressed out and miserable, depressed, anxious, that now, again, that's how they are. That's how they become. And so then what do they attract? Those other kind of people.
Same shit. Yeah. Yeah.
And so then it just gets worse. It's like compounding.
Yeah.
So it's, for me, it's always really, the biggest thing is like training people how to use their bodies to help.
Yeah. I want to know about that. What can I do right now to start doing that?
I mean, a lot of things. First, again, the awareness of that's how it works. Is like the awareness of this is knowing that how you move, the posture you carry, like how you're sitting or standing, and how you're breathing will directly impact.
Going to my breath.
Yeah, it directly influences how you feel. That's it. If physiologically it changes are you more sympathetic, like fight, flight, freeze, fear, or are you more like parasympathetic, where you're more relaxed and executive functions working better? You can make better decisions. You see more clearly things. You're more calm. Like if I had you stand up right now and for like 30 seconds, run as fast as you can, right? Versus like, hey, lay on the floor, put your legs up on the wall and just breathe real slow. Are you going to be a different state afterward?
Absolutely.
Exactly. So did you have to think about it?
No.
Talk about it? Did you have to mantra and visualize your way through? No. You just had to move your body a certain way, and now you're in a certain state of mind, right? Because it's very difficult to think your way through to help yourself.
Yeah.
And you need to just do something. You need to take action, right? Because that is motion is emotion, right? You need to move your body. You need to, and the thing is this, and I know there are some situations and times where you really don't have control because you're so, in a moment, you're so deep into whatever it is. So I'm not saying it's 100% of the time. I don't want to downplay or whatever of someone who's really struggling, right? Because that does happen. But for the most part, right, no matter how you feel, you have control of your body. You just need a little bit of discipline to do the thing that is going to help you feel a certain way.
It comes down to discipline.
Yeah. And that's, look, it's hard to do. I get it. It's not an easy thing.
Yeah.
But maybe that's why you need someone around you to help guide you with that.
And that's also why you need to put the fucking sneakers away, because you need to build that muscle.
Well, it's building that muscle. Exactly. So, again, if you how you breathe changes everything.
Yeah.
Like a simple thing, when I inhale, it's sympathetic.
Yeah.
Right? When I exhale, it's parasympathetic. So if I want to be more less stressed out and like this, over aroused or whatever, well, then I just spend more time exhaling. So what does that mean? Just slower, longer exhales. So like in the next 5 minutes, if I can spend 3.5 of those minutes exhaling and 1.5 minutes inhaling, guess what? I'm going to feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Like I can't stop myself. The only thing that's going to not allow me to change my state, like how I'm feeling and thinking, is if I'm still sitting in the environment that's causing the stress. If I'm still in the mess right now, like if it's people fighting or whatever it is, okay, sure, it's going to be much more difficult to remain in that state if you just go right back to the same thing. But it doesn't change the fact that if I breathe this way or I move a certain way, it changes how my it literally changes my psychology and my physiology.
Yeah.
Like right away.
Yeah.
So I have control of that. And so that gives people power, right? The more you understand that you actually have control, and again, it's not easy. It takes a bit of practice, and it even takes a bit of messing around to figure out what works for you. What movement works for you? What way of breathing works for you? What posture, what thing can you do actively that is good for you? Like even from a sports perspective, like, I remember years ago reading that book, Legacy, about the All Blacks.
Okay.
If you haven't read the book, just get it. All Blacks are amazing. But there's a part of it I remember clearly he was talking about some of the athletes and what they would do when they would start basically losing their mind or getting distracted or performing poorly. Like they just needed to get back on track.
Yeah.
Like one guy would stomp on the ground really hard, and that was his trigger in his mind, a physical thing he would do to remind himself to be grounded, right? To be grounded, to be here, be in the moment. And that was like just everyone had different things, right?
Yeah.
But it was a physical thing that you did. It wasn't like some saying that you said to yourself. Because I'm telling you, when you're freaking out, you're stressed out, you're under pressure, everyone's watching, or you're lost in the corner of the floor or whatever, like I'm telling you, you ain't going to think your way out of that.
Yeah,
like it's too late, right?
For sure.
You need to learn how to catch those things earlier so you don't get to that point. But like that's not going to help you.
Yeah.
Right? But getting your ass moving. Think about this. We go through every kind of mental health, mental illness, professional industry, right? Psychology, psychiatry, life coach, whatever, all of them.
Yeah.
There's only one thing that all of them agreed on. There's only one thing that if you read every single book and every single paper, every single protocol, that all of these different approaches have only one thing in common. That is, move your fucking body. Exercise. Move.
Yeah.
Everything about how your body works needs movement to survive, to function. So, like,
do it. Fucking move the body.
Just move.
Yeah.
Just get off your ass.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
I don't even know if I answered your question.
No, you did. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I've heard you talk about this too, and I don't know. Of course, we're at this point where the mic doesn't want to stay. That's right. Stay still. It's just gonna drift away.
It's getting fired up too. You know what I mean? Like it wants to jump in.
It wants to drift away. I don't know what I just did that totally just messed it up, but we're gonna hold it.
There you go.
Hey, I'm walking out of this with a lot, right? Like I think the first thing, like we made it super clear about the environment. Like I'm walking out of here, number one, auditing my environment. I think that's an important thing to do. Like there's discipline that has come up numerous times as well. There's a ton of value here, and I'm going to ask you one last question. But before I do that, I want to point people in the direction of Jason. So I'm going to make sure that Instagram is in the show notes of this episode. But what else should we be putting out there? Obviously, the book is coming. We don't have a date for when it's being released.
October next year.
October next year, 2026, 100%.
Yeah, my due date for the manuscript is the end of October this year. Give it to the publisher.
12 months?
Yeah, and then 12 months to
12-month runway.
The whole process. I didn't realize how much was involved in writing a book.
Oh,
and all
yeah.
the covers and this and that, but yeah, so I have to give.
Okay, so October 2026. And people can keep up with you on Instagram and find out more about when it's coming. Should we point them in the direction of anything else? Obviously, Arena's in the U.S. Open. You wanted to fucking win it, right?
You watch our journey with Arena. I started a newsletter, like I'm doing just like a monthly thing.
Nice.
So you go there. That's just the website for it is thecoachingsweetspot.com. You just go there. It's a free thing.
Perfect.
It's just a way of, to be honest, I started it a little bit selfishly because this whole writing thing was like tough.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm more good at speaking and presenting and coaching and talking, that kind of thing, and interacting. Just sit down at a computer and write was like blowing me away. It was tough, or is tough. So I thought the newsletter I kind of did is like, well, one, I could share a little bit of, in a different format.
Yeah.
But it's kind of forcing me to kind of sit down and just take one little small piece of something. The first one, I started a few months ago, but the first one's coming out now.
Okay, cool.
Actually, this week I think it should be released. started next week. I forget what day it was. Yeah, so next week it's coming. It'll start up. So yeah, you can just go the coaching sweet spot.
I'll make sure that's in the show notes too.
But yeah, I think Instagram is probably the biggest thing. I'm just posting more and trying to be more consistent with that.
I see that.
Yeah, I gotta be on there. You know, can I just go half step back for a second?
Go for it.
That environment thing. I think it was a key part that I think it's important for people to understand is that, yes, you want to audit your environment continually, you know, be very consistent with that, understanding like how and who and what. And again, there might be things that you realize like, okay, I need to make a change or an adjustment or limit something or get more of something that you might not be in a situation that you can act on that right away. Right. But the most important thing to remember now is right now, wherever you are right now, the most important thing is just the awareness that exists of that person or this thing is how it's influencing you, or it's coming again, and or how you're influencing it.
Yeah.
Right. And so just knowing that and just keep paying attention, because when the opportunity presents itself, when you are able to take some sort of step toward changing that, you'll be ready. You're not reacting or you're going to miss it. So just, even if you can't do something about it, or you feel like it, or you don't believe you can do something about it, just pay attention, be aware of it first. Sometimes people are like, oh yeah, but I can't do this, or I can't, I can't do something about it, or I'm stuck here, I have to work at this job, or I'm stuck in this office, or I need the money, or my spouse, or whatever. There's a lot of reasons why maybe you can't take action on it, but like you're never going to if you don't make yourself aware of that. And then I think that's just something we didn't really mention too much, but I think it's important to understand.
I definitely appreciate that. Hey, so ton of value, as mentioned earlier, right? The auditing of the environment, the discipline aspect, the body dictating the mind as opposed to vice versa, so on and so forth. If Jason can only live, well, let me actually backtrack. Let me not say only. That sounded fucked up. If you made it to whatever year you wanted to make it.
10, 15-ish or something.
Perfect.
Yeah, whatever.
Right. Wherever
roughly.
That is.
Yeah,
you coach whoever you want to coach. You succeed as much as you want to succeed. You shift the world in ways you want to shift the world. But if we could only remember Jason for one piece of advice, what is the one piece of advice you want to be remembered for?
Of who I am, or what I want people to
What you want people to like, for example, if I thought of Jason after this, God forbid we never talk again, I'm knock on wood. I want to talk to you many more times. But like, if I never had the opportunity to talk to you again, but when I thought of your name, I literally thought, oh shit, this is the advice I need to remember.
Advice. It's funny because the thing that just popped in my head was more like, it's a good person.
Yeah. Okay, you're talking about how you want to be remembered. Yeah.
But like, what I want you to remember is just, I know again, like I like to just throw out the first thing that comes to my mind, but it was like, keep going.
Yeah.
That's all I kind of thinks that's another word. That's all it thinks in my head right now. Can't even speak English.
That works. Yeah. That works.
Can't even speak English anymore. But I don't. The piece of advice, huh? One big one.
I mean, you've given us a ton, right?
Yeah, so there's so many things, but I think it's just, for me, that's what it is. It's probably just pay attention, be a good person, and just keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Just do the right thing as often as you can.
Yeah.
And I think it'll all come back for you.
I love that. I love that. Dude, hey, I'm so grateful for this, man. Thank you so much for making the time. Obviously, you have a shit ton going on.
Oh, yeah, match tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 7 p.m., right? Like, you got a lot going on, man. I just want to say thank you for carving out the time to be with us tonight and, man. Coming on here, making an impact. And I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
I appreciate it, dude. Thank you.
Let's go, baby.